leaves are green.
Look at him.
I know the leaves are green.
Reggie up to perk, whatever you wanna get. I got so many connects, I'm like a Lego block set. Just hit the block and jet. Not meaning no disrespect, but I'm holding weed fair. That's more than one of your checks. I'm on the rebel phone where you at the knits on. Brush my teeth.
Official.StreetSmarks@gmail.com is how you want to contact us. Listen to us right here exclusively on YouTube, Street Smark Audio. Or fuck with us, Official.StreetSmarks at SoundCloud. Same at IG. Street_Smarks on Twitter. Street Smark fan page at Facebook. This is Street Smark Audio, Hollywood and the Foods, October 7th, 2017. And today, courtesy of PWI Insider, this day in wrestling history. In ECW history, in 1995, ECW ran a house show at the ECW Arena, South Philly. Here are the results. So the Eliminators, Perry Saturn, John Cronus, defeated Chad Austin, and Tony the Hitman Stetson.
Oh man, the Hitman was still around in '95.
Right.
Okay.
Taz, not the Tasmaniac, defeated Jason Knight, the sexiest man on earth.
he was still back.
Cactus Jack defeated El Puerto Riqueño. That is Pablo Marquez. We'll talk about him later.
Oh shit.
As part of this storyline, Cactus purposely made the match as boring as possible in order to infuriate the hardcore fans. He cited this in Have a Nice Day.
Okay.
He would tease using a chair and fighting on the floor, but then he would simply use a headlock. You know what I'm saying? The fans responded by doing the wave. This was during the anti-hardcore gimmick of Cactus Jack, the Kane Dewey shit, all that shit. You never read Mankind's book?
Oh, I don't think so.
I would give you my book.
Oh no!
But once again, you have a history of not returning books.
Oh man,
library sneak thief.
I'm never gonna live that.
Never.
You would say library sneak thief because there were a few books I never returned to the library. I was a kid though.
Yo. The first comic book I ever read, I stole from the library on Lee and Harvard.
That's where I got all my books from, too.
It was Marvel Comics Presents number 63. It had Wolverine on the cover. It was a 4-part story. It was like 4 different stories. And Marvel Comics Presents back in the day would have anthology series that have different stories. Whatever.
Right.
So the first story was Wolverine solo story. He was patched, so he had the eye patch.
Okay.
All right, so it was terrible. All right, he had to save a girl from being kidnapped in the jungle, a Madripoor, and he assumed he was swiping all the guys one by one. It was terrible. The second story, it was about this dude. I had no clue. His name was Tiger.
Oh shoot!
But he was just a regular guy in a suit, and he would just shoot mob bosses and stuff around. It was like if the Punisher was a mob guy. And who went around hitting other mob guys.
Oh, shoot.
It was like an 8-page story. It was terrible.
I thought you was about to say it was awesome. Mm-mm. The art was great. The writing was compelling.
Absolutely not.
Oh, shit.
All right, so the issue 3, or story 3, was a story about the Scarlet Witch. And she was traveling through time and trying to, her astral projection was floating around and trying to get back with her physical body or some shit. It was terrible.
0 for 3.
Right. Last story was a Thor story.
Okay.
So Thor lands on the island of Roanoke, which is off the coast of North Carolina.
Okay.
There's nobody. Oh no, there's only people that's on the island are vampires. So Thor's doing this. He's killing vampires with his hammer and shit, smashing them, shocking them with lightning until they incinerating shit and everything like that.
It's a regular Tuesday for Thor.
Right. So Thor then fuck around and fights the king of the vampires. His name was Vampire or whatever. However, in other fucking he was known by many names throughout the fucking throughout the multi ages that he's lived life. He was known as Ball.
Oh. Beelzebub?
Yes.
You gotta take a guess? Oh,
yes.
Get out of here.
He was known as some other names and shit like that. But anyway, he's Lord of the Vampires. Thor fucks around and opens the vortex with his hammer, and on the other side of the vortex was the sun, and he killed the vampire like real quick.
Oh, just,
Squashed.
A little sunshine.
Yeah, squashed him. Anyway,
Good job, Thor. Keeping us safe.
yeah, so I stole that comic book from Lee Harvard Library, and I love comics to this day because of that.
Well, oh, that was the one that
was
set
it.
you up. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even a comic that got me into comics, because I can't even remember the first comic book I read that I hate to say. But what got me into comics was the very first time that I watched Superman 2. And it was on free TV. I was at my grandmother's house, my father's mother. And it was on TV, and it was the scene where Clark Kent runs off into the alley and he pulls his shirt open and stuff, and then his clothes just kind of vibrates into the Superman outfit, and he flies off and stuff. And I was just mesmerized with Superman ever since. And then that eventually got me into comic books, because I kind of like to draw and stuff, so I would want to draw scenes that I like from comic books or whatever. I was terrible, but at least when I first started. But anyway, so yeah, and then that's Superman's the reason why I'm a DC guy. And then of course he was conceived right here in Cleveland, Ohio. You know what I'm saying? So we share the same hometown for real. He's from Cleveland, I'm from Krypton. Team DC, go watch Justice League next month in a theater near you, because he will make his on-screen return. You know, I'm talking about Superman Lives. And, yeah, so. But my favorite comic book story, though, of all time that I still read from time to time.
Death of Superman.
To this day. No, that is not the favorite, I would say.
Good. The story sucked.
It is Kingdom Come.
Oh, yeah, Kingdom Come was good. It took me about 20 years to read it, but it was good.
Oh, man, yeah. Talk about compelling.
Yep, definitely.
So,
It's upstairs in the library.
I have it. It's one of my few remaining surviving comic books that survived so many moves, but I think I still have it. And I also have the digital version on my first generation iPad.
Conan defeated Dudley.
Oh shit! Good job, Conan. Cause Dudley, I've never heard of him yet, so screw him.
Psychosis defeated Rey Mysterio Jr. in a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Yes.
We had Raven and Stevie Richards defeating the Pitbulls to become the 2-time ECW World Tag Team Champions.
My bad. Okay, cool. That's what's up.
We had ECW TV Champion Too Cold Scorpio defeating JT Smith.
Whoa. Oh, that's okay. All right. First, we have some interviews from Too Cold Scorpio on the Street Smark Audio YouTube page that you're listening to right now, or unless you're listening to us on SoundCloud, then go to our YouTube page, listen to some true feelings of Too Cold Scorpio. But I'm of mixed feelings right here, because one hand, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm black, but every time I see two black wrestlers go at it, when it really ain't that many of them to begin with, I always think of black on black crime. That's black on black violence, like, you know, say why they pitting us against each other, you know, said that's how y'all feel. But
So you just want every black dude to just beat up on Whitey?
No, it ain't even like that. But I don't know. It's just like a subconscious thing. Like, you know, it's just, you know, I can't ignore it, because it's the first thing I always think, like, oh, they got the brothers fighting. What's up with that? But anyway, but I am glad to see that JT is still eating out here. So
Into 1995, he's still eating out here.
yeah, he's still eating out here. So I'm glad to see that. I'm sure Hot Stuff International has something to do with that some kind of way, but it's neither here nor there.
We have ECW World Heavyweight Champion The Sandman defeating Mikey Whipwreck to retain the ECW Heavyweight title.
He gets another run with the belt?
He gets another 2 or 3 runs with the belt.
Holy moly.
Sandman gets awesome. Just wait.
Okay.
Originally, ECW planned to have the Public Enemy versus the Gangsters, New Jack and Mustafa, in a match held outside the building, but the local authorities wouldn't allow it. Instead, ECW held the three-way dance Part 2, with Public Enemy defeating the Gangsters and Stevie Richards and Raven to win the ECW World Tag Team Championship for the fourth and final time in their careers.
Okay.
And that is today in ECW history. And we will be rolling into the Extreme Retro Review when we return. We out. Peace.